Hello student, welcome to my channel Sigma Educational Academy. I am your Adi sir. Student, in every 2 days I will post a lecture of 12th physics. You must watch the lecture in between these days and comment in my comment section for any doubt. Then in the next class I will clear the doubt first, then I will continue for the next lecture. Previous class I have studied about Gauss theorem and its derivation and some note point. Today I will discuss derivation of Coulomb's law from Gauss law and some problem from NCERT. So please subscribe our channel and click on the bell icon so that you can get the latest video update, and share the link to your friends so that in the lockdown situation they also enjoy the lecture. So let's start the lecture. So student, today we will discuss about Coulomb's law from Gauss law, but उससे पहले हम प्रीवियस क्लास में कुछ कमेंट आया था उसके रिगार्डिंग कुछ डिस्कस करेंगे. सो टेक गो टू द प्रीवियस क्लास. सो प्रीवियस क्लास में एक रिटन मिस्टेक हुआ था कि जितना भी लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्स परपेंडिकुलर टू द सरफेस क्रॉस करेगा एक एरिया को, उसका फ्लक्स उतना ही होगा. इधर टोटल 3 लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्स क्रॉसिंग दिस एरिया परपेंडिकुलर टू द सरफेस. So the flux will be not 2, it will be 3. It is a writing mistake. So please correct it, and other are may be right. Okay. So go to the today's lecture. See, in this section today first discuss about diagram. So I will take a circular sphere. I will take a sphere. It is a 3D closed surface. In between it, at the center I will take a positive charge Q. This is a sphere of surface area S, where at the center I will take a positive charge Q. So the radius of the sphere is R. This point is O. So at the surface of the sphere I will take a small area that I can say ds. I will take a small area that I can say ds. From that area I will draw a electric field line due to the plus Q charge. So the electric field line is away from the sphere, and also for ds area the area vector is along the electric field line which is perpendicular to this surface. So I can say this is area vector, this is electric field, or I can assume the sphere is a Gaussian surface, spherical Gaussian surface. Spherical Gaussian surface. So this is all about diagram. Next part we will go to the derivation part. Derivation. So now we will describe the diagram. See, let a positive point charge Q placed at the center of the spherical Gaussian sphere of radius r. This is a spherical Gaussian sphere of radius r. At the center a positive point charge plus Q is present. At point P is present at the surface of the sphere of surface area S. So P is a point on the surface of the sphere where the surface area of the sphere is S. But we have taken around the P we have taken the small surface, that is ds, small surface area, that is ds. The electric field is normal to all point of the surfaces. See, the electric field due to plus Q charge is normal to here. If I will draw the electric field like this, it will come normal to this point. If I will draw the electric field like this, then normal to this point. If I will draw the electric field like this, then normal to this point. So the electric field is normal to all point of the surface S. So the total flux through the surface I can say phi E, that equal to the closed surface integration of E ds. E is the electric field and ds. Here I have written not E dot ds. E dot ds will be same, because see, this is the direction of ds vector, this is the direction of electric field. So angle between ds vector and electric field is 0 degree. So I can write E ds. So I can write EDS. So that equal to E क्लोज सरफेस इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ DS. सो DS का क्लोज सरफेस इंटीग्रेशन करेंगे तो क्या आएगा, सरफेस एरिया आएगा. जो सरफेस एरिया हमको पता है स्फीयर का सरफेस एरिया कितना होगा, 4πr². बिकॉज इधर लिखेंगे बिकॉज S is the surface area which is closed surface integration of DS, which is we can say 4πr². Now I can write phi suffix E equal to E into 4πr². I can write it equation 1. But from Gauss law we know that from Gauss law we know that the total flux is equal to the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface, closed surface, divided by epsilon naught. That can be written as equation 2. So I can write from equation 1 and 2. I can write from equation 1 and 2 Q by epsilon naught equal to E 4πr². E 4πr². So I can write E 4πr² equal to Q by epsilon naught. Okay. That implies I can write the electric field equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r². See, you can see this electric field. See this E equal to 4 pi r². राइट साइड में जाके क्या होगा, डिवाइड हो जाएगा. सो आई कैन राइट E इक्वल टू 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by this is r². So this is the electric field produced due to charge plus Q. So if I'll take a positive charge point charge Q0, if I'll take a positive point charge Q0 at point P, if I will take a positive point charge Q0 at point P, then Q0 will repel each other with a force F. So we know that we can write. So we can write if Q0 charge is present, if Q0 charge is present on the surface, thus force acting upon it, thus force acting upon it, I can say this force equal to E into Q0. And we know what is E, we have derived in equation 3. E equal to, I can place it here, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r² into Q0. That implies I can write the force equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q0 by r². This is the Coulomb force. This I can say, this proves Coulomb's law in electrostatics. Okay, that's it. So next part we will discuss about the NCERT problem. So student, first we read the question properly and write the given section. So question is NCERT 1.15 exercise. Consider an uniform electric field E vector equal to 3 into 10 to the power 3 I cap. The unit of electric field is Newton per Coulomb. I have written here given E equal to 3 into 10 to the power 3 I cap Newton per Coulomb. In A section, it was given that what is the flux of this field through a square of 10 centimeter on a side whose plane is parallel to the YZ plane. Here I have drawn the plane. See, this side is 0.1 meter, or I can say 10 centimeter, which is parallel to y. This side is 0.1 meter, which is parallel to z. So this plane is parallel to yz plane. If this plane is parallel to yz plane, then say this area vector is magnitude of area is 0.1 into 0.1, as it is a square, and its direction is in the direction of x-axis. The plane parallel to yz axis means its direction is, the area vector direction is in the direction of x-axis. So I can write side A equal to 10 cm, which is equal to 0.1 meter, or I can write the area vector equal to 0.1 into 0.1 into a cap, or I can say this is 0.01 I cap. This is your area vector, and given is E vector. So we want to find out the flux. So how can we find the flux? The total flux equal to E dot A, E vector dot A vector. See, I cap dot I cap equal to 1, because the angle between I cap and I cap is 0 degree. So 1 into 1, 0 degree. The multiplication of two same unit vector equal to 1. So here we will multiply only E into A, that equal to 3 into 10 to the power 3 into 0.01. So I can write it 3 into 10 to the power 3 into 0.01 means 10 to the power minus 2. That's equal to 30. That's equal to 30. That's equal to 30 Newton meter square per coulomb. This is the answer of section A part. It's very easy. So let's go to the B section. So in the section B, what is the flux through the same square? इस स्क्वायर के अंदर से कितना फ्लक्स लाइन जाता है, कितना इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड लाइन जाता है. इफ द नॉर्मल टू इट्स प्लेन मेक्स एन एंगल ऑफ 60 डिग्री विथ एक्स एक्सिस. सी दिस इज द प्लेन, द नॉर्मल टू द प्लेन इज डायरेक्शन ऑफ ए वेक्टर. आई कैन से दिस इज द नॉर्मल टू द प्लेन. वो बोल रहा है द नॉर्मल टू द प्लेन मेक्स एन एंगल ऑफ 60 डिग्री विथ एक्स एक्सिस. सो आई विल बेंड इट 60 डिग्री. ओके, मीन्स और प्लेन को घुमा के उसका जो नॉर्मल होगा वो एक्स एक्सिस से कितना एंगल करेगा, 60 डिग्री. मतलब एरिया वेक्टर जो इस टाइप का है वो सरफेस को मैं थोड़ा घुमाऊंगा, 60 डिग्री टर्न करूंगा, तो एरिया वेक्टर कैसे हो जाएगा, इस डायरेक्शन में आ जाएगा. ओके, एरिया वेक्टर इस डायरेक्शन में आ जाएगा और दिस एंगल विल बिकम 60 डिग्री. इन दैट केस दिस इज द एरिया वेक्टर, बिकॉज आई एम टर्निंग दिस प्लेन, दिस स्क्वायर, आई एम टर्निंग दिस स्क्वायर विथ एन एंगल ऑफ 60 डिग्री. सो एरिया वेक्टर का डायरेक्शन इस साइड में आ जाएगा, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का डायरेक्शन इस साइड में होगा, तो हमको मिलेगा क्या, थीटा मिलेगा इधर. सो हेयर थीटा इक्वल टू कितना होगा, 60 डिग्री, विच इज द एंगल बिटवीन एरिया वेक्टर एंड इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड वेक्टर. Then I can write the flux. The flux formula is equal to E dot A vector, or I can write EA cos 60 degree. This can be written as 30 into, we have found EA in the A section, 30 into cos 60 degree equal to 1/2. So we will get 15, means 15 Newton meter square per coulomb. This is the answer for B section. Okay. So NCERT 1.7 exercise number 1.17. So this is the question. Careful measurement of the electric field at the surface of the black box. एक ब्लैक बॉक्स लिया हूँ मैं. दिस इज ए ब्लैक बॉक्स. उसका जो सरफेस है, जो 6 सरफेस है, वो सरफेस में इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स, electric lines passing means electric flux is given, indicates that the net outward flux through the surface, net outward flux means phi, total phi suffix e, through the surface of the box is 8 into 10 to the power 13 Newton meter square per coulomb. So I will write first, given given phi suffix e equal to 8 into 10 to the power 13 Newton meter square per coulomb. First, this is the flux through the surface of the box. So question is, what is the net charge inside the box? So this is a very easy question. According to Gauss theorem, the total flux, or I can say the net flux, is equal to the total charge enclosed by the surface. Let this is a box, black box, you can say Gaussian box. Inside this, the total charge Q divided by epsilon naught. So he is asking about the net charge inside this box. I can say this Q is the net charge inside. That implies the net charge Q equal to epsilon naught into phi suffix e. Okay. So we know the epsilon value. This is the Gauss law formula. We know the value of epsilon naught equal to 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12. So I will put it here, 8.85 into 10 to the power. So in place of epsilon naught I will write 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 into phi e equal to 8 into 10 to the power 13. So I will write here 8 into 10 to the power 13. Okay. So the multiplication of these two will give 70.8 into 10 to the power minus 12, 10 to the power 13. I will write it 10. So this will become 708 coulomb. This is the answer of section A. See, in the B section given is, if the net outward flux through the surface of the box were 0, could you conclude that there were no charge inside the box? Why or why not? This is a very easy concept. I have discussed it in the note point of Gauss law. See, if I will take inside I will take plus Q. So flux due to this plus Q I will get. If I will take another charge minus Q here, then in that case, what is the net charge inside? The net charge inside is 0. So net charge inside 0 means flux will be 0, because flux equal to the net inside charge divided by epsilon naught. We know that flux equal to net inside charge divided by epsilon naught. But here net inside charge is 0. That's why flux 0. That does not mean there is no charge inside. There is the, here we can say the flux is 0. Why? Because the net charge is 0. But could you conclude that there were no charge inside the box? Why or why not? No, we cannot say that there is no charge inside the box. Net charge may be 0, but there is some charge. This is positive charge, this is negative charge. So we will say no, we cannot say no charges at all inside. We can only say net charge inside the box is 0. We can only say net charge inside the box is 0. So net charge is 0, but we cannot say no charge is inside the box. So that's all about the problem and the Coulomb's law from Gauss law. Hope you all will understand. So friends, please share my channel, the link, to your friends so that they can also enjoy. Okay.